In December 1944, American forces were pummeled by German panzer divisions in the Ardennes forest. It was a decisive moment in World War II. Hitler would either succeed in pushing back the approaching Allied armies. If he can drive the Americans and the British all the way back to the coastline, he may be able to force them into a negotiated peace. Late in October, the Germans began secretly moving their units to points east of the Ardennes without arousing Allied suspicions. 250,000 Germans rolled towards the Western Front. But officers in Allied intelligence refused to believe it. They all agree the Germans don't have the military strength for such an attack. Early morning on December 16th, a shattering barrage of German artillery and rocket fire lights the skies. Gloomy weather for the next several days provides effective cover for the German might that churns over the roads. Panzer units slash through. In the center, the Germans gouge a 12-mile corridor to the approaches of Bastogne. They are ordered to surround and bypass this town, then drive for the Meuse River. There is all-out confusion. Communications are sketchy. American troops discovered Germans in front and behind them. Panzers, under cover of fog and rain, slip into American armored columns, then blast the Americans off the road. More than 7,000 soldiers of the 106th destroy their weapons and give up. Next to Bataan, this is the largest mass surrender in military history. Elsewhere, with communications shattered, other Americans fight isolated holding actions. Gradually, small scattered units slow the German advance, especially around St. Vit.
The 5th Panzer Army had good success in the southern part of the invasion. However, the effects were not what the Germans had wanted. They were trying to race to the Meuse River in 2 days.
On the third day, General Dwight Eisenhower orders General Patton's Third Army to attack the German flank and relieve Bastogne. December 20th, the Battle of the Bulge is in its 5th day. American forces are reeling under the impact of the mighty German offensive. General Patton and his Third Army are driving north toward Bastogne to counterattack. December 21st, a wintry snow falls throughout the Ardennes. St. Vit is taken by the Germans. Now the center route across the Ardennes is wide open. The Germans flow around Bastogne on all sides, encircling the American forces there.
They thought the Germans were beaten after the race across France. The Germans were not beaten.
December 22nd, the situation in Bastogne grows desperate. Ammunition is short. McAuliffe's artillery battalions are down to 10 rounds per gun, and it's still snowing. The cold causes more casualties. Frostbite is rampant among the troops. The Germans send an emissary to Bastogne with an ultimatum. Since the Americans are surrounded and there is only one possibility to save them from death, an honorable surrender. General McAuliffe's reply is short and to the point. McAuliffe's bravado is based on the expectation of the Third Army. General Patton's timetable is a critical factor. If the Germans move on Bastogne, they can easily take it at this point. The surrounded and undermanned U.S. Army watches and waits anxiously for reinforcements. The freezing cold conditions don't make it easier for either side. The next day, December 23rd, dawns bright and sunny. Perfect flying weather. Americans in Bastogne cheer as Allied planes fly overhead to bomb and strafe the enemy. To drop supplies. Not all that's needed, but enough to enable the Americans to hang on. On Christmas Day, news reaches Bastogne that the western spearhead of the German 2nd Panzer Division has been stopped just short of the Meuse. When Hitler is told by his generals, he orders the expected all-out attack. The Wehrmacht advances on Bastogne with 9 divisions, 4 of them armored. A great part of this effort is aimed at closing the American corridor to the south. On January 3rd, the Allies launch a 3-pronged counterattack. By January 16th, patrols from the 1st and 3rd Armies meet north of Bastogne. By early February, the Germans have been pushed back to where they started.
By the end of the Battle of the Bulge, they knew they couldn't win. And from that time on, the remains of the Panzer Lehr Division was sent to the Eastern Front, where it was eventually destroyed. It became clear that the German army no longer could fight on the Western Front.